we are a comprehensive school here in Dunfermline and Fife, and we have about 1,900 pupils attending every day. As a large school, we have 110 teaching staff, and about 25% of our students fall into the SIMD 1 to 3 category. We are not a one-to-one school at the moment. Hopefully that may change in the future. We'll run with announcements that are made. But we have a whole variety of technology that students and staff have access to, whether that is desktop computers, we have laptops, we have interactive smart panels, some Promethean boards, and visualisers as well, and some iPads. So we have a range of technology that we use depending on the need, and that's the thing. We try and make the best use of the technology that we have access to here at Queen Anne High School.
We're really lucky to have an exceptionally passionate and talented team in the school, led by Nicola Copeland, our PT Computing, and Sarah Clark, who's a leader in all things Microsoft within the school. And between the two of them, they've motivated a whole range of teachers and non-teaching staff to support young people in upskilling as regards digital skills, but not only that, upskilling staff, so that we've got this perfect combination of the whole school community keen to develop digital literacy in all aspects of the school curriculum and the totality of the school curriculum.
It became very clear very quickly that we had really good pockets of good practice happening around the school, but there wasn't a coherent strategic approach happening. So when Sarah came to me with the idea of applying for the Showcase School, it was fantastic because it allowed us to really use the framework to get a really strategic approach and pull together all the excellent practice that was happening in the school. The barriers that we had to overcome was actually giving staff the confidence that they had the skill set already there. Staff were really willing, staff were really wanting to be able to showcase all their different skills and really support our pupils, but the Showcase School really helped us do that, because using the MEC, it allowed us to get them on these courses and build up their confidence slowly over time, which has allowed us to get to the 70 experts that we have in the school now, because it's just been a scaffolded approach for them.
So at the start of our journey, we began as a Microsoft school rather than now they have the Incubator programme. And when we started on the journey, we were using technology within our school, but what we were finding was there was lots of little pockets of great work being done. And what we wanted to do was kind of ensure that that great work that was being done was across the whole school and across the curriculum. So we had staff that were using Teams, that were using OneNote, but we wanted to make sure that our students were experiencing that across the curriculum. So what we did was we survey our staff. We actually survey our staff at the beginning of every year and at the end of every year to get an idea of where they feel they are, what help and support that they're needing with the use of digital technology. And what we found when we were starting our journey, that staff weren't confident in using it. They knew the tools were there. We had a small group of staff that were confident, but we wanted to ensure that all our staff were using it across the curriculum. So that was when we sat down with the transformation framework and looked at where we needed to be and how we could do that. So that resulted in, at the beginning, I think we had something like 20% of our staff felt confident in the use of technology. When we surveyed them after our first year as a Showcase school, that was 45% were feeling confident. So we knew that that was being used more across our curriculum. So we put in a whole programme of CPD that year. And now that we're in our third year of being a Showcase school, we are building upon that programme every year. Every year we do the same thing. We ask our staff where they are, we ask them what they would like their training in, and then we develop a programme around the needs of our school. And we're also now working with our students, looking particularly at a lot of our vulnerable students and how we can upskill them so that they feel confident in using the technology as well, because a lot of them say, I don't want to use this, I don't know how to use this, I don't like using this. So we want them to be using that across the curriculum. So if our staff are skilled and confident, then that transcends into our kids being confident in using as well.
I've been using the Microsoft tools for quite a number of years now, and luckily for me I was using it well before the pandemic, so my senior classes were well used to me presenting the learning through Teams and OneNote. OneNote was the first thing I started using, and then when Teams came on board I started doing the Teams for my senior classes. So now all my senior classes access their learning through a team, and from there through a OneNote, and all the learning all the learning materials are delivered through that particular OneNote.
So where we are digitally now as a school 3 years on is we have a massive amount of support from our SLT. They are really buying into the importance of being digitally literate in the 21st century. They saw the value in it previously before the pandemic started, but definitely after the pandemic they can really see the value for having both staff and pupils being digitally literate.
OneNote is easy to access through Teams and is a useful tool to complete assignments, which allows you and your teacher to view your work at any time. It's also all in one place so your work will never get lost.
I think the biggest benefit is confidence of staff. I think for many schools when we went into that initial lockdown, the thought of having to operate via Teams or Google Classrooms for many staff would have been quite an anxious moment. I think we were very well prepared for that just because of the efforts of staff over the 2 years prior to that point. So this has been a 4 or a 5 year journey for us, so incrementally we've improved year on year. But the staff at Queen Anne High School, their confidence was high in that area. They were already pretty competent in digital pedagogical approaches in classrooms. So this was not something that scared most of them. It did scare some of them. So it has been quite a journey, but I think it's been a delight for me to see that confidence and consistency of practice around digital pedagogy and the use of flipped learning to have young people able to access learning from home, irrespective of whether it's self-isolation as a result of COVID or whether as a result of medical needs they're unable to attend school or non-attendance for any particular reason. So the confidence of staff to deliver high quality learning in a digital format has probably been the best thing. And it's the same with young people, their confidence has increased too.
So in terms of where we are now, we use the data that we get from our local authority in use of Glow. So we take how many students we've got logging into Glow, how many staff we've got logging into Glow, to give us some idea of where we were and where we are now. And this gives us a definitive set of data that we can look at year on year and compare. And we are very much trying to become a data-driven school and how we can use that data to develop ourselves further. So now we have a programme of CPD for our staff that is underpinned by pedagogy, rather than just what the tool can do, why you would be using this tool, and that is the essence of our whole programme with our staff. In the last year, we did about 1,400 training sessions. That includes trainings with our staff here at Queen Anne High School. That is also some of our staff at Queen Anne High School have actually gone and supported other schools as well. So they are doing trainings within their subject area, in the use of technology and sharing that out. And as well as that, as a school, we have been doing sessions with Education Scotland as well to share the journey that we are doing. So we feel we're now at a point where we are happy to share what we're doing to help other schools to develop their digital skills as well.
We've invested time into our staff, we've invested into training, we've invested time out of class for them, we've invested in online resources for them so that they are really able to upskill themselves and develop their skills to the best of their ability. One of the massive things that we've done that I think is quite unique here at Queen Anne is we've released a member of staff 1 day a week that's able to support and be booked and help staff to develop those skills on a one-to-one basis or on a group basis, which is really tailor-made for us, and it's had a massive impact. People no longer feel like there is a stupid question because they know that there's someone that they can go to, that they're going to be able to get that help to support our pupils.
I think initially what we had is, again, where many schools will have 2 or 3 very talented members of staff doing incredible work, and it's quite isolated and fragmented in schools. We've gone from that start point to not just having a small team with those skills, but actually building the majority of our staff. Well over 70 teachers in the school now are MIEs, which is absolutely fantastic.
Now we're at the point where we are 5 MIE experts in our school this year, and those MIE experts are part of the digital working group. They're supporting staff, they're supporting students across the school. We have had showcase events within our school, and the MIE experts, along with other staff that are wanting to share how they're using technology in their class. And we do this through webinars, we do this through meetings in teams, we do this face to face, but it is about staff showing other staff what they're doing and the impact that that's having to learning in their classroom. One of the things that we found really important was looking at the insights within teams. When we went into fully online learning, all staff were looking at insights, noting down the students that were and were not accessing. And what we then did with that was, how could we support those students? So we were filling in a form each week, and the important bit about insights wasn't to do with, pulling pupils in and asking them, why were you not online? We were then contacting home and saying, what can we do to support, because we can see that your child has been unable to be online this week. And that was a big part of our online learning. We are still using insights now that we're back in school, and teachers are still looking at that data and looking for the students and seeing if those students are needing maybe help with how to access. If they've got a device, can we help them with that at all? Is it that they maybe need a session with somebody from our digital working group to sit down with them and show them how to access it? Because as much as we have lots of students accessing, we still have some kids that need that extra help in how to use technology when they're in class, but also when they're outside of class. At the start, in about 2017, when we started on our journey with Microsoft, we were getting about 8,000 logins a month. Fast forward to where we are now, and we're looking at about 22,000 logins a month. So the fact that we know the number of logins are increasing, this means that more students and staff are accessing these digital tools across the curriculum, and that really is our aim. If they are accessing them in every faculty of the school, then their digital skills are being developed in a variety of subjects, and they can be using the tools synchronously with the staff in class, or asynchronously if we are setting work for them to do outside of class as well.
We've also massively invested in resources within the school, so we have put a lot of money into sustainable resources such as interactive panels in all of our classrooms to make sure that staff are able to interact with their pupils on a digital capacity in a regular way. But also we've got, each faculty also has mobile devices, and this is really to support our Bring Your Own Device pilot to make sure that there's equity across all the pupils, so that if any pupil wasn't able to bring a device in for any reason, we have a device that we can supply them with and they're still able to get the exact same experience as those in the class.
The teams for my senior classes have been really useful. As soon as the pandemic hit, we were able to go to asynchronous learning. We do synchronous learning through it, so I will produce all my notes. I will direct the students to those notes, and they can be self-directed in their learning. And then in class, we have the more synchronous learning, where I'm doing what would be loosely determined typical teaching, and they will follow the notes through their OneNote. They can launch the Word documents because everything's a Word document from the OneNote directly. They can copy it into their part of the OneNote, and they can edit it, and they can ink, or they can just scribe as they see fit. And from that, it's given the students an awful lot of autonomy as to how they interact with their own learning and how they grab hold of their own learning. For me, it's a lot of work initially to set up my teams and my OneNote, but having done that for a number of years, it's a very quick copy across year on year, and if a piece of the notes needs changed, it's a very simple way of changing it. But from home, I know because my students feed back to me, they like the idea of being able to get into a team from home and being able to do their own work at their own pace and their own time, and it's exactly the same as they see in class, so there's no difference to what they view in class as to what they view at home. It's through the team, it's through the OneNote. So there's a synchronicity to it all, there's a familiarity to it all, and I also deliver my homework through the Teams and the OneNote as well.
Microsoft Teams has been beneficial with accessing learning materials within and without school during lockdown, as you could access learning materials through it across all subjects.
The other thing that I have is a whole pile of tutorial videos that I prepare ahead of time, and they go up through Stream, and my Stream is linked to my team, so the students can get hold of the videos that I've done through the team. And again, that's a supplementary thing. If they've missed a lesson, they can get hold of it. If they're at home for isolation purposes, they can get hold of the lesson as well.
Teams allowed you to stay organised and keep on track by displaying all of your upcoming assignments in one place. The calendar feature was also really beneficial during lockdown, as it allowed me to keep on top of all of my future meetings.
So with having staff that are on the MIE Expert programme, they are directly supported by Microsoft. They have the opportunity to join UK connection calls. We have our own Scottish ones as well, which have been inside Glow, but we welcome people that are using Glow as well. But they have that support where they have the opportunity to collaborate with other members of the MIE Expert community, whether that's within the UK, within Scotland, or globally as well. Being an MIE Expert, I have been one for many years. I think I'm up at year 7 now. But the opportunity as well to attend events and present at events and try out software as well, and you get an insight as to what is coming with the tools as well. I was lucky enough that I was on a call last night and Mike Tholfsen was there telling us about some of the features that are up and coming within Teams and OneNote. So that means that we can then come back into our school with information on how the tools are being used in other schools and what is up and coming. I get lots of requests for, we would love this feature, and quite often as MIE Experts we can say, it's coming, just wait. So that programme is really helpful in developing our staff and their skills and what they can then bring back to us here at Queen Anne High School.
The journey has been one that has been led by staff and not by me, and they're always the best ones. So teachers in the school want to get better. They want to improve their own digital literacy skills to enable them to be better professionals. But the bottom line is digital skills now, there's a fusion between your personal life and your professional life, so everybody wants to enhance their digital skills. But the journey for me has been one of great pride to see the school achieving in this area.
The number of MIE Experts within Queen Anne High School has grown over the years. We started off with 1 and we're now at the point where we have got 5, and me myself, I am one of the Microsoft Fellows here in Scotland. In the school as well though, we have now, we've rolled across the Microsoft Educator Centre where our staff are working towards their Certified Educator badges and all the other training offers that are there for them. And we are now at the point where 70 members of our staff are certified MIEs. We want to make sure that there's a basic level of CPD available to all our staff, and it's become quite competitive now. They all want to get that digital certified MIE badge here at Queen Anne High School, and you'll see there's a few of them on here. They're all looking to get this badge now. And having the MIE experts that can then go out and work with other faculties, and the certified MIEs as well are keen to work with staff and with pupils. It really helps to build capacity in our school in terms of the use of digital technology and how we're all working together to support students across the curriculum.
Something as simple as a badge has really helped us overcome barriers within the school on our journey to becoming a showcase school, because previously I think staff were concerned that they didn't want to come forward and showcase their amazing practice because they didn't want to be seen maybe as bragging or putting themselves forward. But that badge has created a real sense of community in our school, and it's allowed people to want to share practice, want to come forward, want to help others, and that's just, as I said, created this sense of community that's allowed us to grow and grow, and it's now going out with the local authority and allowing us to connect with other schools out with.
It's been an interesting journey. It's been interesting to see Microsoft develop both the OneNote and the Teams, particularly the Teams because of how Scottish education are now using Teams to deliver learning.
Any school that is wanting to join the Showcase School programmes, first thing I would say would be to go to the website, go to the Educator Centre and look at the programmes that are there and see what the programme has to offer the school. The Education Transformation Framework is laid out to help you see where you are as a school, whether you are initiating or developing, or I think it's leading and advancing are the two of them, where you fit into that as a school and what you can then do to move the school forward in its digital journey. We sat down when we first applied with the rubric and looked at where we were. We do that every year now as a showcase school, and we can see we are moving into the leading area in many aspects, many metrics of the Education Transformation Framework. The Education Transformation Framework really gave us a structured approach. That was the one thing that we were looking at as a school, how we could have a structured programme of digital learning in our school. And the rubric with the metrics really helped us have a structured approach to how we were moving forward, looking at where we were, where we needed to be, and how we were going to get there in between. The process that we will go through for applying, there is a survey that we fill out, where we identify where we are in that rubric, whether that's developing, initiating, and so on. And what we then do is, under those headings, we create a sway. And that sway is to evidence that we are leading in a particular area of the framework, or we are developing in that. So we fill in that sway, we're putting in the data that we're gathering over the year, how we're working as a school, how we're supporting our staff, our students and other schools within our area or across Scotland. So as an incubator or a showcase school, we benefit from that relationship with Microsoft, where we have regular calls with other showcase schools, other incubator schools. We are sharing ideas on how we can improve, listening to what other schools are doing. That's been a big benefit this year, because we can see the impact that what they're doing is having, and some of those ideas we can then take into our school as well. So not only do we have UK calls, we also have global calls, where we can connect with schools around the world and we can learn from them, and they can learn from us as well here in Scotland.
So our biggest achievement so far being a showcase school, I think, has been just how ready our pupils were to make that move from in-school learning to blended learning, which is not something we ever expected them to be able to do. But you know, in school we were seamlessly using Microsoft as part of everyday lessons. We were using Teams, we were using OneNote, we were using lots of different software packages. So when we had to move from being in school and supporting them here, they were already scaffolded in a way that they could actually support themselves at home. So it was actually a lot easier for our pupils, I think, than maybe other schools, because we didn't have to train them up in that, they were already ready.
And as well as the success that we've had with our students, I think the success that we've had with our staff here at Queen Anne as well. We have gone to the point where we have 70 certified MIE staff in school. They have worked so hard over the last couple of years to embrace the training and the CPD that's been on offer to them. They're attending webinars, they are joining face-to-face sessions that we're running within the school, they're on the Educator Community Centre doing those courses for their own CPD, and that is a verified programme by Education Scotland. So they're able to then use that as part of their GTCS evidence as well. And any opportunity that has come along as being part of a showcase school, our staff have then embraced that. We have had staff that have done their certified educator exams, and because of it, some of our staff attended the virtual E2 back in March this year as well, and got to experience all the variety of sessions that were available there. But the fact that they have grasped and grabbed all that opportunity that has come along, I think has been the biggest achievement for our staff here at Queen Anne High School in the past few years as a showcase school.
And we would also like to thank our staff, because really they've gone above and beyond in the last year to really continue that set of upskilling and that ongoing training to make sure that they are giving our pupils the best possible learning experience they can, using the support from being a Microsoft Showcase school.
They've been amazing, they've been fantastic over the last couple of years.
Every school's core business is learning and teaching. Learning now needs to be focused on digital literacy, and that digital component is absolutely integral to pedagogy. So we're leading in that area, very proud of what staff have achieved. They've worked hard to do it, and yeah, it's been a great journey, and we're not there yet, but we're still going.